guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Deborah, and if you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back to watch my content. You know I love you. Welcome back to the wedding series. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel, like this content so YouTube can push me out to more people. And without further ceremony and parana, can we move straight into action? Today we are talking about how to plan your wedding. If you are thinking about how to plan your dream wedding, how to bring the vision in your head to life, and how to make your wedding a stress-free one and a beautiful one, please watch till the end. You need all these points to help you plan your wedding. From my experience, oh my God, I'm getting married, fam. What's next? The next thing is picture your wedding. You have to have a mental picture of the kind of wedding you want. You cannot just say, oh, I want a wedding, and you start, photographer is saying, oh, my price is 500, you throw 500k out. No, the kind of wedding you want will determine a lot of other factors. What is your dream wedding? For me, my dream wedding was wedding people would come and everyone would eat. No one will say, oh, they are unable to feed us. My dream wedding is a wedding that after I am done with that wedding, I am not in debt, I'm not paying any loan, I have peace of mind, I'm happy, and I am comfortable and okay in my house, at least to my own level of understanding. So while doing everything I did for my wedding, I consider these important factors, like I don't want to borrow any kobo. So your dream wedding could be the kind of wedding that after you're done with your wedding, you want to pay loan for the next 2 years. If that's your dream, please, my sister, go for it. Your dream wedding could be the wedding that you want helicopter to come and drop you inside the hall, like you don't want to trek inside, you want to land. Yeah. Please, my sister, go for it. So you have to ask yourself, what is your dream wedding? My dream wedding was an intimate and simple wedding where my engagement clothes is on point, enjoying myself all through the engagement ceremony, because that engagement is the number one thing for me. I've always pictured my engagement. It is important for me. So I knew that my white wedding dress would be something simple, although simple but beautiful. I don't want too much simple but beautiful. But my engagement is gonna have a lot of ceremony because we are here for the ceremony. What do you have in mind? I had a picture of my head. I had things I wanted. I had things that I don't want to compromise on. So what is your dream wedding? Next point you should consider is set a date. When are we getting married? Then you set a date. Try and run away from festive period. Like festive period is not good for you. Things are always expensive during that time. Traffic would be something else. Everywhere would be messy. The reason why I ran away from festive period, when I was in the university, I was going back to school 3rd of January, and it took me 5 hours to get a bus to carry me. And since then, I don't go to school 2nd or 3rd again, because there were too many people at the park. Everyone is trying to go back to their destination and all that. So transportation was very, very expensive. So you have to consider that. If you don't want everywhere to be messy, run away from December if you can. Run away from 1st week of January if you can. 2nd week of January is okay, and the 1st week of December maximum is okay for the peace of mind of you and your guests. Number one. Number two is, if you are doing a garden wedding, advisably make it dry season, because you don't want rain to fall during your wedding, do you? So if it's a garden wedding or a beach wedding, make sure you consider the weather before you fix a date. Yeah. Why fixing your date? Except you have a lot of money, like all your Mark's daughter, Uncle Mark's of Facebook. If you are not his daughter, then your wedding should be like 6 months after, or within 6 months to a year is the realistic time, so you can have time to plan and save towards the wedding. So for you are earning 2 million naira per month, you can say, okay, I will be saving 500,000 per month every month for the next 1 year, and that should be able to fund my dream wedding. Is it that the 100% will be carried by the husband alone? Is it like it is 80-20? Is it 50-50? Is it 60-40? Is it 70-30? Who is doing what and why? So you have to have the conversation of who is doing what and why this person is doing what he or she is doing. The next thing you have to do is you have to discuss with your partner and draft a budget. Like, you already know your dream wedding, you know the kind of wedding you are going for. Your budget must align with your wedding. For instance, you cannot tell me, oh, the budget for your whole wedding is 2 million, and you're telling me you want Timidakolo to come and play at your wedding, you want Kiss Daniel to be there, because the money these people will charge you alone is the whole of the budget. You have to make sure your budget is realistic with your wedding. with your dream wedding or the kind of wedding you want. You have to know what you are able to invest more in. What are you willing to spend more on? What are you willing to compromise on? Do you understand? The next question is, how much do we have on grand? Okay, how much do we have? How much have you saved in your piggy vest, in your colo? How much have you saved for wedding? The budget for the wedding is 3 million. We have saved 1.5 million. We have 1.5 million more to go. And in the space of a year, we should be able to save up for that. So how much do you have? How much have you saved? How much do you have left? Okay, then the next point is, do we have support from our family members? I know of people that have gotten married and that family, someone paid for the oil, another person paid for the cake, someone paid for the wedding dress, someone paid for the traditional outfit of the bride and groom and all that. They had strong support system. These people have the money and they are ready to support with it. So do we have support from family members? If you have support, it makes it a bit easier. But if you don't have support, then you have to plan with what you have. And don't rely on support that you are not sure about. There are some families, if somebody is doing something, they can contribute for the person and give the person money. What kind of family is your family and your husband's family? Are they supportive? Therefore, some family, not like they are not supportive, but they do not have the money. They can support you with coming to work for you and all that, but they can't afford to give you money. So do we have financial support from our families? Then the stage of life of the family members matter. So is it just the money that the bride and groom has that they are using for the entire wedding? So you know how to plan. So you are not trying to plan your wedding like your friend that has support from the family. And how is the support from your family members like? Can they afford to support you? Then another important factor is get a wedding planner. Now, a wedding planner helps you put structure and plan in place and helps you worry less. But if you cannot afford a wedding planner, which is understandable, talk to former brides, people that have gotten married. If you have stuck along the line, say, what can I do? I'm tired, I'm fed up. Be vocal, like don't try and manage all situations. Talk to people, talk to previous brides. Go and check my playlist and watch wedding series. It's a whole series. I've made about 8 to 10 videos on the weddings, and all these are from my experience while planning my wedding. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, click the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you don't miss my videos when they come out. Also like this video so YouTube can push me out to more people that needs this content. Thank you. The important point is attend weddings. So 2 years before my wedding, I vowed not to attend weddings anymore. I went to a wedding and it was so messy. Like the 3 weddings I went subsequently, is either they did not give me food, or there was no space to sit, or like it was just 3 messy events that I went to like later subsequently. And I was so angry and I'm like, I'm not going to any wedding again. Don't even invite me. And even if you invite me, if I like you, I will send you money. If I don't like you, I won't honor your invite, and that is on period. So I was so angry and all that because of the experience I had in those 3 weddings, which I would not like to share. I was so pained about those events, and I'm like, I'm never going to any wedding again. I am never. So my wedding came, I started planning for my wedding, and I'm like, oh girl, you have to go to weddings. So I was getting invites for wedding, but I declined them. Like, oh, I'm busy, sorry, I can't come, I'm busy. But because of my bad experience, which wasn't really too good, but that was just the way I wanted to handle that happened at the time. So I told myself I have to start going to weddings, which I did, and it really helped me in my wedding planning process. So let me give you a quick gist. If you are wearing a ball dress for your wedding, I'll try and find a picture or a video and attach to this video of how a ball dress is. I wore a ball dress. So I did not know that for a ball dress, you have to wear a wedding petticoat to make the dress elegant and more beautiful. I never knew. But I went to a friend's wedding and she was wearing the petticoat, and I'm like, babe, why are you wearing this thing? And she was like, it's to make the ball dress fuller and beautiful. And I had bought the wedding dress by that time, and this was October. My wedding was December. The people that sold the wedding dress from me did not tell me that you have to buy petticoat. So I did not know, I did not buy it. But my dress was ready. So I had to go back and buy the petticoat and all that, and really made the dress more beautiful. What if I don't go to the wedding? I wouldn't know. And it's going to affect the appearance of the dress. So that was something I learned. Then the other wedding I went to, I was still thinking about the right allocate to use, and I went to a friend's wedding. The allocate did an amazing job, and I'm like, okay, this allocate can anchor my events too. That was how I got the wedding allocate that anchored my engagement. So it's important to go to weddings, so you see that you see a lot of things, and I learned a lot of things too. Okay, they did this first, they now did this, why did they do this? Then I was vocal to ask these people too, because they are not distant people from me. Oh babe, why did you do this at your wedding? Why did you do this? Why did you do this? And she was like, I did this because of this, that. But attend events that will give you more insights of what to do and how to do it, and what is on trend, what are they doing now, what is in vogue at the moment. I hope it makes sense. And the next point is create a wedding hashtag. Now, how do you create a wedding hashtag? You go to Instagram. Let's assume you are Adebimpe, your husband is Ade 2, so you can you can try Ade 2022. So you check it on Instagram. Before I could get my wedding hashtag, all the hashtag I was coming up with when I got to Instagram, people have used them already. So it is wrong for you to use an hashtag someone have used. So immediately the hashtag comes to your head, go to Instagram and confirm the hashtag. Is it still available? So the wedding hashtag is useful because when you just check my hashtag MDFusion21, I shared it with my vendors. You see my cake pictures, our pre-wedding pictures, our wedding pictures. It's just something that gives you the summary of your event. So your wedding hashtag is important. So check your hashtag, come up with an hashtag and check if it is still available. So you are not going to pick an hashtag and a bride have used it already. So your hashtag should be unique to you alone. Do you understand? Another important factor, in fact this should be the first important factor, is prepare for marriage. There's something I feel I did right when planning for my wedding. My focus was more on the marriage than on the wedding, because with the way marriages are breaking up, it's messy and scary. You know what I'm talking about. When you go online, you see these people, they have divorced and all that, and there's actually no one that goes into a marriage with the hope that, oh, I want to go there for 3 months, after 3 months I'll come out. No one. But I feel like a lot of brides, we get carried away by the wedding and we don't plan enough for the marriage. And that is not the only factor that is affecting divorce. No, there are other factors, but I feel like we should be intentional about the marriage. Brides are mostly more intentional about the wedding day, and before you know it, that wedding day, it moves so fast. Like before I could know it, the wedding day was over and it was left with me, God, and my partner. So plan well for your marriage. Get a marriage counselor. It is important. See, one of the investments you would never regret is getting a marriage counselor, a paid marriage counselor. For us, we did not get a paid counselor, but the structure of my church, oh my God, the wedding counseling was on point, was unique. So at the end of the counseling, we saw that we did not need an extra counselor, and we were very serious with the counseling. My husband was serious with it, I was serious with it, and I can tell you of the fact that it has really helped our marriage. Like, it has really helped us. I would recommend you do a paid counseling, except if the counseling of your church is good. Like our counselor in church, he has been counseling for the past 12 years or 20 years. I know it's been long, so he had experience, and he has been married for 20 something years too, so he was very experienced. So if you have pending issues, maybe something that has been causing problem in your relationship, you can table it and talk to the counselor. Even if there's something that has been the cause of a constant fight between you both or constant argument, you can settle all those stuffs with your counselor. Counseling is important. Please, I beg you, in God's name, as you are planning for all, getting your venue, doing decor, if you go on Instagram, there are a lot of counselors like Sacred Place Wife. I searched for a lot of counselors then because we plan to do a paid counseling. Please make sure you get your partner to your side and do a paid counseling. It is important. Myself and my husband, we are always watching YouTube videos. Pastor Kingsley messages, a lot of his messages, would watch it. Immediately I'm watching them, I'll send him the link, he watches too, then we discuss about it. So okay, Pastor Kingsley said this, what do you feel? Oh, me, I feel it's good. Me, I feel don't let us do it this way, let us do it this way. Now, I believe that because someone said something, we should not use that full manner to guide our own. That is my own belief, and that is the belief of my husband. So after we've listened to those sermon and all that, we try to discuss about it. What do you feel? What should we do? How should we do it? Then Pastor Midra too, the wife of Pastor Kingsley, I listened a lot to her messages, and they are helpful to me. So please, if you cannot afford a paid counseling, you have a lot of free information online that would help you to have a blissful home. A blissful home is important than a blissful wedding, and the home is on fire. Do you understand? So when we started counseling, that was when I realized that I had a lot of wrong mindset. That I'm just grateful to God I did not carry that mindset and baggages into my marriage. But if I had not gone for counseling, I won't know. I feel like, oh, I'm good to go. Baby girl is good to go. We are counting down 4 days to wedding and all that. So I had to learn a lot of things. I had to unlearn and relearn during the stage of wedding counseling. And I am glad I went. If there's something I'm grateful for, as I always say, I'm not big on church weddings. But because church wedding, the compulsory counseling, I'm grateful for counseling of that white wedding. I'm not really big on white weddings, but that counseling, I'm grateful for it. There are some unnecessary fights you won't even have in your marriage because you have knowledge. Do you understand? You understand how a man is wired. You understand how a woman is wired. So I'm like, leave him. Do you understand? So counseling is important. Prepare for marriage. Forever is too long to be unhappy. We should be best from my heart. Your home will be one of the best in Jesus' name. Because our home will be one of the best. All these and they are breaking their face, they are breaking their leg, then it's not going to be our portion in Jesus' name. We will be best of friends with our spouse, and we are going to raise our children in godly home. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Perhaps I may do a video on wedding checklist. So this list would help you during the process of your wedding planning. So you know that, okay, let me take this off. I've gotten this, I've gotten that, and all that. Your wedding checklist is very, very important. Everything you need for your wedding. Okay, so the next thing to do while planning for your wedding is to set alarms. Like, I had to set alarm. Number one, I set alarm to set up a meeting with my vendors. Don't just say, oh, my videographer should use his intuition to know the right thing to do. Don't just say, oh, my decorator would use his intuition. Oh, the other guy should use that intuition. No. Some specific vendors, I had to set up a meeting with them because there are some things I wanted them to deliver in my own way with the style I wanted it, and it's peculiar to me. So set your alarm for reminder for meeting with vendors. Also set your alarm. If you plan to call your vendors 3 times before the wedding, I called to remind them about the wedding date again, because there are some issues like vendors not showing up on the wedding day. So you don't want that to happen to you. So you have to call them, or you can allocate to someone to call them for you. This is to remind you about Oluwatobiloba and Bimpe's wedding on the 22nd of November. And please come on time, come early. Thank you for accepting to be part of this wedding and accepting to serve us. Bye-bye. You can allocate someone to do that for you. So my plan was to call them 2 times before the wedding to remind them. I think there was a day 2 months before the wedding, I called everyone to reach out to them. I chatted with some people. Wedding is in the next 2 months. I hope we are still on the same page. I hope you've not forgotten me. I hope you've not gotten a bigger client that can pay you better and you left me angry. Inside joke. So call all of them. Also, 2 days to my wedding, my husband requested for the contacts of all vendors, and he called everyone, and that's a good job, because I realized it made the vendors happy. Most times the groom is not always involved in the wedding. They always interface with the bride. So my husband called all of them. He appreciated them. Oh, he's so grateful for their love, for their support from the beginning and all that. Thank you so much. Thank you for accepting to be our wedding vendor. This is to remind you about our wedding in the next 2 days. Please, 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 we are expecting you to bring your A game. So he called all of them and he spoke to them in a good manner. He first thanked and appreciated them for accepting to be our vendor and for working with us, and he told them he was looking forward to something good from them, and he pleaded with them to please come early and not come late. We don't want a situation where bride and groom is ready, decorator is not yet available and all that. Please, it's a one-day event and we are doing everything in a day. Please do not disappoint us. And the vendors, they all reached out to me on WhatsApp. I'm like, oh, your husband called me and he was saying thank you. Like, it makes them more happier. See, the way you deal with your vendors matters. Because you paid your decorator 200,000 to design, to decorate the room for you, you feel you are now assistant Jesus. You talk to them anyhow and all that. If you talk to them anyhow, they also give you anyhow results. Those people too, they get come for head. If you do come for them, like, and it's not because they are bad people, but to whom much is given, much is expected. So don't say, hey, I've paid you, so sit down there, stand up there. So talk to them with respect and regard. They are happy because they are humans, so they feel happy. So they all felt happy and they were like, oh, your husband called me and all that. So if possible, if your husband can do the same, I actually did not even plan my husband was meant to call them or anything. He just called me one day and said, please send me the contact of all the vendors. I want to call them. I'm like, really? He said, yes, send me everyone's contact. So is it general vendors or even plus my vendors, my makeup, my hairstylist? He said, send everyone's contact. So he called them to appreciate them and telling them we look forward to something great from them and all that. And it makes sense. Then lastly, set a reminder for tags and direction. Now, tag is what you put on the table to allocate people to a particular seat. Like this seat is for Senate Bank, this seat is for Mountain of Fire and Miracle Ministry Church. So when I come to your wedding, I know where to sit. I'm not stranded. So set a reminder, and you are most likely to forget tag. My husband was in charge of tags. He printed the tags. He did an amazing job for that. So I really commend him for that. And I don't think it's the duty of the husband to do tag, but do what works for you. So I'm not saying go and tell your husband that you must be in charge of tag. So he volunteered to out. I think he asked what else can he help with, and I said, okay, tags. Do you get to help with that? And he said no problem. So your tags and direction, they are important. You may forget them. So while planning your wedding, since the day of planning your wedding, you set alarm of the next 8 months. So it's important. Set alarm for that in the process of planning your wedding. I hope you got value today. As usual, I give you value back to back. So please like my video so YouTube can show me out to more people that listen to this content. And also subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my content when I dish them out hot. You get it? Also share with all the brides to be that would find this content helpful. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I am going to see you in my next video. Bye bye.